Most people think Jackie Wells dies in the prologue. I don't think he ever really leaves. Because after Jackie dies, Cyberpunk 2077 starts speaking in symbols. And once you notice where the symbols appear, and when Jackie's influence becomes impossible to ignore. Hi everyone, this is TheNoobAmongUs, and today we are going to uncover the mysteries of the tarot cards in Cyberpunk 2077. A small disclaimer before we start. All the comments and opinions in this video are clearly my own understanding of the game and do not represent the true lore of this game. So let's begin. Cyberpunk is not just a game, it's a lifestyle. That might sound dramatic at first, but Cyberpunk is one of those rare games that doesn't end when the credit roll. It lingers. It follows you into the quiet moments, the ones where you're not playing anything. It keeps asking questions, quietly, long after you put the controller down. Questions about identity, about agency, about what you're willing to trade just to survive. Most games reward power, Cyberpunk interrogates it. And the unsettling part is this: the question it asks don't stay inside the game, they bleed into real life, because the system Cyberpunk exaggerates are the same systems many of us already live under. Today I want to explore a personal interpretation of Cyberpunk 2077, one that suggests Jackie Wells never truly disappears from V's life. Instead, his influence continues in a quieter, stranger way, through tarot cards, through locations, through moments where the game pauses and asks you to think, which is honestly rare in Night City. This is not canon, CDPR has never confirmed this, but once you notice where the tarot cards appear, when they appear, and what's happening to V at those moments, Jackie's presence becomes very hard to ignore. Jackie is the first person to slot the relic into his neural port, and he does it while dying, which is not ideal usage condition, of course, but narratively, it's incredibly important. The relic isn't a clean storage device. It doesn't just copy files and move on. It preserves identity patterns, especially under extreme emotional stress. Johnny Silverhand survives as an engram not just because of technology, but because of the intensity of who he was when he died. Jackie slots the relic when his body is failing, his identity is collapsing, his thoughts return to what matters the most. At moments like this, the mind doesn't cling to tactics or plans, it clings to symbols, beliefs, meaning, ways of understanding life and death. Jackie wasn't a philosopher, he didn't quote theory, he didn't overthink systems, but he was deeply symbolic. He believed in legacy, being remembered, becoming someone, and crucially, Jackie trusted Misty, which in Night City already makes him emotionally overqualified. Misty doesn't give answers, she gives interpretation. She uses tarot not to predict the future, but to help people make sense of uncertainty. Jackie believed in that. And right before his death, his thoughts returned to his mother, his dreams, and Misty. If the relic absorbed anything from Jackie's dying consciousness, it wouldn't be strategy. It would be how he made sense of life when control slipped away. That's where tarot comes in. If Johnny Silverhand is the voice pushing V forward, then Jackie is the quiet presence asking them to stop and understand what it all means. V doesn't see tarot cards at the start of the game, which is good, because seeing symbolic hallucinations during the prologue would have raised different concerns. Tarot appears only after Jackie's death, Johnny's emergence, and V's identity begins to fracture. And the tarot cards don't appear randomly, they appear at specific location, places tied to identity, power, irreversible choice. The Fool appears outside V's apartment, the last place that still felt like home. It represents the beginning of a journey, blind to its cost. That's not Johnny talking. Johnny would have called you an idiot and moved on. That's Jackie, framing life as a journey towards becoming someone. The Empress appears at the afterlife, Jackie's dream, not celebrating success, but quietly questioning it. The magician shows up when V still believes preparation and skill guarantee survival, which is optimistic. The High Priestess near Liz's bar appears where truth is withheld and power hides behind spectacle. Lovers near Clouds appears where intimacy and choice blur into performance. These cards don't show up during combat. They show up when meaning changes. That's not Johnny. That's Jackie saying, before you sprint into the next disaster, look at what this means. Think of the relic not as a possession, but as a shared mental apartment, a very hostile, rent-free arrangement. Inside it, Johnny brings ideology and conflict. V brings lived experience and choice. Jackie brings symbolic framing. Johnny pushes action, Jackie provides interpretation. That's why death, found near embers, the point of no return, doesn't mean literal death, but it means transformation. Jackie's death wasn't an ending, it was a change in how he exists. Look at where the final cards appear. The Devil at Arasaka Towers represents false survival through submission, everything Jackie feared. The Tower represents collapse without rebirth, the kind of ending where Night City doesn't even bother being dramatic. And then there's the Star. In the Badlands, hope through connection, survival through community. That's not Johnny's dream. Johnny hates unless they're rioting. That's Jackie's. Even the sun at the afterlife balcony reflects Jackie's desire to be remembered and the cost of that wish. The tarot doesn't judge these endings, it frames them, just like Jackie always did. A lot of players wanted Jackie to stay longer, that's fair, but Cyberpunk isn't interested in comfort. Jackie's death doesn't erase him, it transforms him. He stops fighting beside you and stops helping you what your choices mean. In a city obsessed with power, Jackie survives through meaning, which is probably the most anti-Night City outcome imaginable. Jackie versus Johnny. Johnny represents rage, martyrdom, destruction as identity. Jackie represents legacy, connection, meaning beyond survival. Johnny shouts, Jackie whispers. Johnny wants to burn the world down. Jackie just wanted to make it out with his friends. V exists between them. That tension is the soul of Cyberpunk 2077. This isn't canon, it's just an interpretation, but it honors something important. Jackie's death doesn't remove him from the story, it changes how he participates in it. Through the relic, through tarot, through moments where the game asks you to reflect instead of react. Jackie never tells V what to do, he helps V understand who they are becoming. And in a city that erases people the moment they stop being useful, that kind of presence is a form of immortality. Jackie didn't stay with V longer, but he stayed with V. Just not in the way anyone expected. Johnny gives V a future to fight against. Jackie gives V a way to understand it. Thank you very much for listening, and I still believe that when Jackie dies, a part of him imprinted on the chip, on the relic, and that is the reason why we keep seeing relics around, which is his connection to Misty. And in his own way, Jackie is trying to make us understand what it means to be in Night City and what it means to be who we really are.